Okay, so we are live with another Sunday Spirit, and for those of you who are joining tonight, thank you, and for those of you who might be joining later or watching the video, thank you too. I am super psyched talking about this subject. It's very close to my heart. It's something I have experienced firsthand, and I'm going to dive into that a little bit. So tonight's topic is fear and anxiety. So many people experience having fear in some level or full-blown anxiety. There are many different levels. It comes in different frequency and intensity, and it can be truly scary. It can feel like, for me, it felt like, is this how I'm going to feel for the rest of my life? And if so, I'm not sure that I want to be here, to be honest, because it was so difficult. So there are, of course, healthy and unhealthy ways to feel fear. So a healthy way is, of course, fear is a natural part of us, and we have to be able to flee in order to be safe. If a car is coming or a lion is attacking us, that is natural fear, and that is very healthy. It's an alarm system that protects us. Then there's the unhealthy fear, and the unhealthy fear is where you start fearing things that are not real. They seem real, they can feel real, but they're not. But your body is reacting to it as it is. And what happens is that often it can actually start in the body. You feel scared, or your body, your nervous system kind of goes off. And what happens after that is that sorry, a door open, nobody's here. So another thing is that then your mind will tend to kind of trigger a story that is suitable for the feeling you have, because the mind, that's how the mind works. It just makes up stories because it needs to kind of fit into what's happening to your body, even though it's not real. The thing about the mind is that whether it's actually happening in reality or it just feels like it's happening, it doesn't differ. It doesn't make a distinguished difference in, is it real or isn't it real? So that's why it feels so real, because it believes it. So it's actually like it's happening. And so my experience with fear and anxiety has been, first and foremost, my postpartum depression I have after giving birth to my son, which came with a lot of different variations. There was the anxiety attacks in itself, which was horrible, and then followed with OCD thoughts, which is obsessive compulsive disorder. I didn't have it in my actions, but it was more in my thoughts. So I had these thoughts about something horrible was going to happen. A lot about me doing things that I would never do, but it felt like I might do this to my son, to my newborn son. And it was horrible thoughts. I'm not going to go into details. I've never had a need to actually talk out loud about what the thoughts were, but it felt real. And I had so the spiral of it was, am I going insane? Am I psychotic? Am I losing my mind? And that was the actual fear. The fear was, am I losing my mind to a point where I could actually do something horrible to my son? Which I, of course, would never do, but it felt real. So the anxiety followed, and it was kind of this really, really bad spiral. And that's kind of the really high level of fear, anxiety that I have experienced. And then there's a milder version, which is scared of heights and I've been scared of the dark when I was a child. And I remember when I had my PPD, my postpartum depression, it felt like it was something that just came out of the blue. I remember during my pregnancy that I have read about postpartum depressions, and I kind of feel like that I don't need to read about this because it has nothing to do with me. And I didn't see myself in that category of people who were actually who would actually get something like that. So when it hit me, and it hit me really hard, it was a week after giving birth, I didn't understand where it was coming from. I was looking for reasons outside of myself, and I felt like if it can come this like out of the blue, it can also disappear. So I went into numerous things in therapy, like tapping therapy, hypnosis, psychologist, you name it. I was willing to do everything. And it wasn't actually until I kind of grabbed the bull by its horn and understood that this is something within me. This is something that I need to look at, and this is something that I need to face, because there's a reason why I'm feeling this way. There's a reason why this has come. It is sort of giving me a chance to work on some things from my life in order to heal and in order to forgive. So it was a long journey. I decided I'm very stubborn, and I decided whatever it is, I'm gonna face it. So I went into this journey and still did the therapy. I think that's super important to get some help, have somebody to talk to. But I also remember the feeling like when I had the anxiety attack, I had this spot in my back that really hurt. So it was kind of sitting there, and it was ambivalent, because in one way I knew what was going on, and the other way I was just feeling like a crazy person and feeling like this will never stop. But gradually it did. And I think one of the good things that I found out was kind of an easy win in order to stop those attacks from just keep going in force, and that was to just tell my husband, right now it feels a little bit difficult. That's all I had to do. I didn't have to vent about it. I didn't have to go into details about it. I just needed that little ventil to kind of take the edge of it. And I've heard this from numerous people I work with too, that this is actually a nice little trick to kind of calm it down a little bit, so it doesn't spiral. So what that also does is actually accepting that it's there. Just accepting that right now I have anxiety. I know it can be super hard. I've been there. But just accepting that it's there, and be curious. Why am I feeling like this? Why? What is this actually about? Because there's always a deeper reason. And yeah, it can be childhood trauma. It can be trauma in any sense that causes it. But what it actually is the anxiety, and it becomes it's not the issue, it's not the problem. It becomes a way that your mind and body find a solution. So it becomes a way that it thinks that you're actually fixing the real issue. So it's actually more of a symptom. And you gotta dig into that. You gotta find out what is it within you that is causing this. What unworked, unresolved issues could there be if you look back at your life? And I'm not saying to dwell in traumas, but having an understanding of why you're experiencing what you do is a huge win, because that's actually where the key is. And the answers are inside you. So one thing is having the feelings, but another thing is becoming the feelings. So have the feelings. All feelings are acceptable. It's all right to have all kinds of feelings, but don't become the feeling. So think about how you let it embody. Think about how you accept it. Because acceptance of the feeling is saying, I accept I have this feeling, but you don't identify with that feeling. And how you speak about it is so important, because there's a huge difference in saying, I am anxious. That's actually saying you are equal anxiety, and saying, I feel anxious. It's just a feeling. It's not you. And there are so many, as I said before, so many people experience anxiety and fear throughout their life in different levels and in different periods. It's so normal, and it's part of our reaction system. And one thing I have learned is that when I start feeling a little bit anxious or a little bit fearful, I know that I have to stop and really consider, what am I doing right now in my life which causes this? It can be I am not sleeping enough, I am not drinking enough water, I am overworked. It can be so many things that is kind of like basic, but my body has this system which warns me, and that's actually beautiful, because it warns me and says, you need to stop now and think about it. So for me, it has become a thing where it used to involve, like, I was so disabled by this and felt so controlled. So now it's actually a power tool I have, because I know when my nervous system starts coming off, either changes are happening and I am slowly adapting to it, or I'm living unhealthy in some way. Be it what I put in my body, or I don't do enough exercise, or I overthink. And I know when my nervous system goes off, it's like, okay, here's actually a warning for me, and thank you for that. So I think also appreciating our body and what it's telling us, instead of just keep going and thinking something is wrong with us, because there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. Anxiety is not you being unworthy or something is wrong with you. It is just an over exaggerated feeling of fear that comes because there's something you need to understand and work on. So what I've also come to understand about doing all this work, especially on myself, and also of course working with others, coaching others, and the conversations here, is it's a lot about trust. It's a lot about if we trust ourselves, because fear is often for the unknown. And if we are not based and have our frame and trust ourselves, this is where it kind of gets interesting, because this is where your body will overreact. So trusting yourself, trusting the unknown, and trusting that everything will be all right is for me the opposite of anxiety. Because anxiety is about not believing enough in yourself and your capabilities as a human to overcome whatever is inside of you. So look within and try to be curious about why is this going on. And there's a beautiful technique called contemplation. It takes about 5 minutes you can use, and it's actually about taking the theme of anxiety, your anxiety, and asking questions. Why am I feeling this? How does it look like if it had a color, or how would it taste? Just ask those questions, because the answer is inside of you, and asking those questions kind of broadens your creativity and perspective about it, and it allows you to look at it in a different way than just, I am excited. It's more, I have anxiety and I'm curious to know why. So that could be a technique you can use. And Another issue is control. Because control is often based in fear. We want to control the outcome. The outcome, so we know what's going to happen in the future. But the thing is, we don't. You can plan from here until the end of the year. You don't know what's going to happen. And that's also the beauty of it. So let go of that control. Trust whatever comes. Expect the best and be okay with whatever comes. So there's the trust issue in yourself, but also in what's coming. And let go of the control. It is such a key on the path to understand yourself, to be more open and accepting of whatever comes, and then believe in the beauty of life. That's a trust thing too. So it is so exciting talking about this, and of course this is very high level. I think most people who have experienced anxiety especially feels like this is only me feeling this. I've heard of other people, but this exact, and often you find out it is not, because it's part of being human, having that nervous system and having those reactions. So don't make it into something that's unique just for you, because then you identify with it. And hopefully you will get to a point where you can be grateful for it and accept and appreciate it. And the reason I can say that is because I have embraced it, and having tools and being curious and understanding the science and what is actually going on in your body and mind can be a solution for how you move forward, and not judging yourself in the process as well. It's quite normal, and it's not a bad thing, and it doesn't make you a bad person. You are super worthy, you are super unique, and it's just part of your body and mind reactions to the unknown, to what's coming. And yeah, embrace it, accept it, allow the feelings, don't become the feeling. So I think that will be my best advice for now. I will keep the live short. My course is on the 8th of September, where I will talk more about this and more about the tools. And there's still room for people to join. So there's, I will put the link in the comment below. I will also put a link for my other YouTube videos where I talk about different subjects. And the next time will be on Sunday the 11th of September, where I will talk more about the healing journey and that you are already whole. So that, I think that will be exciting too, and talk more about, so a lot of the subjects interlink, like the trust, the belief system, the frame, the healing, and so forth. And because of that, you'll also hear me mentioning the same things, but this is kind of the framework I work from. So I hope you will join on the 8th, and I hope you will watch my videos on YouTube. And if you have any questions, if you have any wishes, anything that you want me to talk about when it comes to self-development and the process of what's going on in the mind and the body, then please comment on the video or send me a message. There's also a link, and I will also put it beside or in the comment below. So thank you so much for everybody watching the video. Thank you for being you. Have a blessed Sunday, and I see you in 2 weeks. Bye.